Greetings Internet, DDA here with another match video from a local game tournament. Again, Portal Comics and Gaming this time. The final round of this tournament with Larry. Again, Big L facing off against my brother, Jonathan, Jon Greenleaf. Oh yeah, playing the Namekian deck. Looks like first turn he's going to draw Time as a Warrior's Tool. Drop, lift, and oh yeah, he's going to put the lift on top. Just probably wanting the attack since he already has time. Looks like over on Larry's side we got a defensive burst, resistance. He's going to drop 2 resistances actually and rejuvenate 1. Pretty strong draw here by Jonathan. Going to drop Namekian Ball 5. So gain to full, raise in anger, draw a card. Looks like got an Overwatch in his hand, rejuvenate, a hybrid defense and time. So he's actually going to just pitch everything. Just not really a very strong hand. He can always keep, you see, and that's the power of the Restored Mastery. You can always keep 2 cards. He's keeping time and Overwatch. Overwatch, very strong card in this deck. Looks like Larry over there's got a black stop in his hand. Is that a chin kick and a dash? Looks like it. So you can see Larry is a very heavy anger build here. I think I actually see a defensive burst. Yeah, a defensive burst. So he's going to enter on him, with the defensive burst, hoping to just lock him out of physicals. Starting off with his power, just setting his anger to 3. Readying himself for the level. He does have a dash, a chin kick, a defensive burst, and a stop in his hand. So using the Overwatch, drawing, of course, the hybrid defense that he rejuvenated the first thing. Well, he actually rejuvenated that with the ball 5. So it looks like Larry's just going to try to go to level here, although he could use the defensive burst to try to lock him out. Now, granted, Jon does have the time in his hand, but he's not doing attacks that are making him want to use the time. He does also have a hybrid defense to fall back on, which is what he may do here. Yep, just going to take it. I mean, he doesn't play allies in the deck, so no reason to waste the hybrid defense. So bumping up to 2 anger, seeing the stop. Hey, even though we have the devastating blow lowering the anger, still got 2 anger over there on Larry's side. But you can see the level of anti-anger that, well, at least all of my decks are playing. Overwatch and devastating blow this combat. So shooting off the mastery, gaining 4 stages. Combo is going to be able to just take care of all those stages, doing a total of 9 damage. So seeing his hand, he does have 2 blocks. Hey, the chin kick, it's going to bait a block at least. Probably going to, end up baiting the hybrid defense out. Because obviously if this hits, it's going to set his anger to 4. So, yep, just going to hybrid defense, not giving the anger. A lot of good choices in there, looks like. I would go for the hybrid defense, personally. I love rejuvenating hybrid defense with hybrid defense. Yep. Gotta love doing that. Namekian, guys, it's not OP. It's good. Rejuvenations. Combo, just getting him down. And with a 1 PUR that it's really not going to be fun with Wheelo. It's never fun getting stage lock with Wheelo with a 1 PUR. Oh, so he's actually going to end with his physical here. Getting a revival, so instantly milling 3. Doing a lot of damage with his power. I think it did 5 life, which is great. So keeping the time in his hand. So he actually sees his hand, until the start of the turn. So he's going to be able to see these cards that he draws. It's actually a really strong hand. If he could get a Dragon Ball with Overwatch, it'd be even better. But really strong. Is he going to discard the time? I think he's at, wow, he's going to discard time. I did not see this coming. Even though Larry's deck, doesn't attack too much, it does have a lot of attacks. But hey, not a bad play. Larry's really not been doing that much damage to him, but he did hold that defensive burst in his hand. Personally, last combat, I probably would have just shot off the defensive burst just to bait out the opponent's time. just because he might actually not block it in that case. So Larry here debating whether or not he wants to enter. He does have 2 anger, making his power not so great. Looks like he's got a Sinister Choke in his hand. So he has that defensive burst, a Sinister Choke. He's actually he had a history and a knee block. Actually a pretty strong hand. So, but he's gonna pass. Not gonna put that hybrid defense into his hand. Drawing into ball 1, which is great to protect the ball, and then a knee block. So now knee block is great in Restored because it against certain decks, against more passive decks, it can be pretty strong because you can just keep gaining anger with it. And if you're facing a really passive deck, it may just cause them to get antsy and go aggressive on you. And then this being a pretty aggressive beatdown deck may get them into a bad situation. So he's going to do his Mastery Shenanigans to get that to the top, set his anger to 3, so now he's within range for Restore just to give him a level. Drop down the History, really good again. I mean the Revival, really good against Namekian, rejuvenate a resistance. So having that Revival down to shut off all events is going to help him out a great deal. Jonathan going, dropping down 2 setups and then rejuvenating the knee block again and putting it on top, now at 4 anger. So now Larry knows if he passes again, he's gonna give him a level. He's just gonna give him a free level outside of combat. So he actually has 2 physical blocks in his hand. 2 looks like a choke. He's got that choke. I'm assuming he was holding that. So a history and then a knee block and a finger block. So really actually a very strong hand against this nail deck because it is all physical attacks. So he knows he's got a physical block for the choke though, so that's not good. Starting off with the Mastery, just hoping to get anger, I assume, for the knee block. Just a pretty passive play there. Granted, he does know the choke can be stopped. So now John's going to just shoot off his physical, met with finger block, milling a card. So would have actually did 5 life there against Larry. Whether or not he should have did the finger block, I'm not really sure. Personally, I probably would have saved it. So he's going to shoot off his power and set his anger to 3. So he's only actually gaining 1 anger. Hits the ball 3 to the bottom. That's actually really useful to note. And Jonathan right away is going to shoot off the Overwatch, lower his anger 2, drawing the ball 3 into his hand and drawing the bottom card of his discard pile, which happens to be a lift. Really strong play here. Not only lowering the anger, but also getting 2 cards into your hand. And with Restored Mastery, it is truly like getting 2 cards because you can always pitch a Dragon Ball for a draw. So Larry's just going to shoot off the history here. Just do 3 mil. He knows he's pretty much not going to be getting the level 2 this combat. Not after that Overwatch. So it looks like John... Alright, so yeah, John is going to just lift ball 5 into his hand, creating a floating effect. Now let's see if he actually remembers the floating effect, because I always forget this floating effect. It's always good when you're playing these cards with floating effects like Pulverize and Lift. You just play them kind of tapped in your discard pile. So that'll it'll be different. It'll stand out. It'll make you remember. So Larry's going to shoot off the choke here and should be immediately responded with the knee block. To be honest with you, I don't think Jonathan knows what it does. Choke being a new card, and Jonathan doesn't play too often. So yeah, I think he's just describing what it actually does to him now, whether or not he's going to block it. So yeah, of course. I mean, you don't want to take unpreventable 5 life critical damage. So yep, just doing the Mastery again, showing that free card draw with Overwatch, discarding not the Dragon Ball that he drew actually, the Dragon Ball he put into his hand with Lift, but still he has that ball 3 that he can play next combat, or next turn. So really a lot of ball manipulation in this nail deck. You can see lots of bouncing of balls, and this is kind of why I don't play overtime in this deck because, you know, at this point we only have one ball in play. Wow, he's actually going to draw into the same ball that he just dropped, which is not very good. Just playing this card from your hand, intervention, as a physical attack, which is one of its many uses, and great in this particular case. I actually, you know, I play this as my only energy block, and it's showing its power here. Because he doesn't need the energy block, but he could really use the physical attack. So actually discarding the ball 3 at the end of combat and then rightfully using his mastery to put the ball 3 on top, so he actually has 2 Dragon Balls in his hand, 2 powerful Dragon Balls in his hand to play. So the intervention is just kind of sitting out there right now. Actually, also, he should have discarded his drill when he leveled. He never did that. Now, granted, that drill can actually be put back into play by removing 3 physical combats from your discard pile. So it can get you kind of taking it for granted, like it stays always in play, but you need to discard it when you level up. Hey, there it goes to the top of the discard pile. So personally here, I would have probably played the ball 5 first to see what my 1 card draw was, and then choose from all of them with 3. That's what I personally would have did. So he actually, what does he have in his hand? He has a lift, confrontation, which he's going to start off with, of course. Got an upward dodge, a setup, yeah, a knee block, and a lunge. So he actually does have a little bit over a level in his hand right now. So getting rid of the upward dodge, not wanting to deal with an 8 life card lunge. So, I mean, I'm not sure what blocks he has in his hand. It looks like he has... Oh, he actually has another confrontation in his hand. So, another confrontation, a lift. So the powerful thing about Black Wheelo is that you have damage every combat, regardless of what you're doing. Regardless of what your hand is, you have some damage that you're going to be able to put out on your opponent. There's not much he can do about it. Constantly doing his power, constantly doing the mastery. So doing the other confrontation, getting rid of the other blocks. So he has no blocks in his hand. The only thing he has is that lunge. Doing the mastery, getting anger. So he's at 4 anger now. He can actually lunge for the level. What's Jonathan's got in his hand over here? I see the lift. He's got 2 anger. So he's 1 anger away from a level. He's got right throw. So that's good. So he can actually lift the ball into his hand and get a free card draw like him with the mastery. Right throw certainly being just as strong of a play. You know, here's the question. You see, he almost went for ball 3 there, and personally, I would go for ball 3 because it's the more powerful ability. So it has more of a risk when your opponent steals it. But he also has lift in his hand, so he has to think about next combat or next turn as well. Oh, and this is actually a misplay here because he was using his level 2 power and he should have banished those cards and not discarded them. So actually, Wheelo's Revival should not have gone off there. So Larry's actually going to get the level off of this lunge. Hey, he finally got to level 2. Yeah! So hey, it's going to hurt with 6 life cards, doing 6 damages. And actually doing the critical. So, I mean, lowering anger to 3 anger, you know, the mastery is there. Now, granted, I probably would have did the lift first to get a free card draw. Yeah, and it looks like Larry did state that he should have destroyed the growth with his mastery. It doesn't look like Jonathan did that. And again, with the drill discarding. Guys, drill discarding. Discard the drill, you level up. So bouncing ball 3 into his hand. Really strong play here because, you know, Larry's out of cards. Is going to do 8. Well, 9 and 1 technically. Yeah, so Larry clarifying there that he should have. Yeah, hey, there it goes. He remembered now. So again, he can play just 3 physical combats from his discard pile to, banish them to play it from his discard pile. So it does kind of always stay in play, but you have to send it to the discard pile and then actively remember to do this in combat. Yeah, it really irks me actually that it's really awesome that Nail can get around Wheelo's revival. It irks me that Jonathan didn't remember to do that there. So keeping the leaping kick on the bottom, rightfully so. He's level 3. Doesn't really need it at this point. Larry dropping down Black Power Up and Wheelo's revival. Probably could use that more so in his deck at this point. John's got ball 4, ball 3. Lots of balls. He's got balls. Draws in a ball 2. Looks like he's got, that's the promo Namekian Clash. Looks like he's going to get rid of that. Doesn't need it because he's got ball 4. I think right now Jonathan is realizing that he still has access to MPPV Victory right now, which I have done with this deck once before. Without even, realizing it, Larry has kind of pulled out clear ahead here. You can see the comparison between the life deck counts. So he's just doing some really nasty effects on him right now, lowering, de-leveling him, doing the magic shenanigans, gaining an anger with knee block. Really strong hand here from Larry. More so just the strongest card being Devastating Blow. It's not a bad hand. So he's got the knee block. It looks like Confrontation, Intervention, knee block. Starting off with his power, just to set anger at 3. Jonathan responding with the Confrontation. We got a Back Strike, Devastating Blow. Yeah, obviously, getting rid of the Devastating Blow. Just wants to keep his anger. Looks like John's got a Nails Dashing in there as well. Just Nails Dashing, just such a versatile card. Critical damage effects, just really strong. Giving you kind of 3 different ways you can take the attack.
Backstrike, physical attack, just 3 stages.
Always got to remember that the Perceptive Mastery actually can discard setups and drills. If you're playing the Mastery, that's like the main portion of that Mastery. Yep. So he's actually, he's going to stop it, going to point that out, and then John just blocking. John sending off a Nails Dashing, critting his anger. Is that a resistance? Is he resisting his physical attack? Quick to use his mastery there, Larry. Cover up that resistance. Let's not talk about it. So that's a lot of damage that he negated there. Very, very well. Better than I've seen any other player do. Shooting off Intervention as a or Interruption. Is it Interruption or Intervention? Getting actually +2 stages from that drill since he has so many balls in play. This is unheard of for this deck, having this many balls in play. So he's got 3 anger, certainly just going to shoot off the mastery perfectly, gaining 2 anger, getting that extra physical attack, and using the power of a ball in play. I mean, he has pretty much every single ball in play that he could want. Hey, this time he properly did it. He discarded the drill and then played it by removing. Good job, Jon. Good job. So yep, just more damages without any regard for blocks or anything. So it looks like Jon looks like he's at like maybe 10 or 15 cards right now. That attack actually did 91. Looks like Larry only did 7 there. So obviously using the power of 3, you know, he gives him, you know, basically, well, it's his only draw ability in play. But if you have the choice between 5 and 3, 3 gives you the highest chance to actually draw something good because you choose between 3 cards. You can see as he did there, he actually drew into 2 dead cards and then 1 devastating blow, which he's using now. So he's actually at 2 anger already on level 4. His level 4 power basically giving him 2 anger because he gets the anger from the ball and then he got the anger from the draw, the devastating blow that he's using now. And so he's really close to MPPVing actually right now. He's 3 anger away, and this deck actually only plays 9 cards that gain anger. Right throw, devastating blow, and knee block. So doing a clean 8 damage, getting critical damage there, and just really doing well. Putting the Dragon Ball 5 on top, just really sealing this victory for him, getting up to 3 anger. He only needs 2 anger to win. And, you know, the Mastery does that alone, and I think he realizes that, yep. Just entering combat. Mastery for the win. Good game. And Nail takes the tournament undefeated against Larry. MPPVing with Nail Namekian. Who would have thought? 3 Namekian leaping kicks, MPPV. Good game to both players.